Good afternoon and welcome to the BBC News School Report with me, Becky Waite and Lauren Carrington.
Today we're here to talk about China and its environmental issues and developments. Coming up, CO2 emissions and China's cancer villages, an exclusive interview with Miss Benson at the Allen School, and China's plan to tackle overfilled landfill sites.
First of all, since China is the world's largest producer of carbon dioxide, it has taken an active stance on reducing carbon emissions. China's emissions of carbon dioxide fell for the first time in over a decade. This decrease has helped stall global production of climate-warming gases. These findings from the International Energy Agency are signs that efforts to control pollution are being made. The total carbon emission actually dropped in 2% in 2014 compared with the previous year. However, the problem is China's CO2 emissions are back on the increase. This year, this in turn has an effect on global warming and domestic public health issues, for example, the cancer villages.
The existence of cancer villages has finally been proven by the Chinese government, as the allegedly admitted decades of pollution have taken its toll on the health of Chinese citizens. These villages unofficially received the title after environmental campaigners in China stated that the dramatic increase in cancer rates in villages near heavily polluted factories and polluted rivers. For many years it has been said that these rates were rising high above the boundaries, yet these theories were kept aside as the government proceeded to ignore them and left the villages unacknowledged. Death rates in these small villages are exceeding the national average, yet the citizens face a wall of denial and intimidation. Xie Xinqiang claims to be a resident of a cancer village and claims that the doctor told him he lost his 3-month-old son, in 2011 due to an unknown disease. He is determined the disease was caused by the pollution. Now China's Environment Ministry has admitted the cancer village's existence and has called for greater transparency on environmental issues. The 12 five-year plan stated in recent years toxic and hazardous chemical pollution has caused many environmental disasters, cutting off drinking water supplies and even leading to severe health and social problems such as cancer villages. The plan also outlines a clampdown on the use of 58 types of toxic chemicals. Many chemicals are produced and consumed in China, which are banned in many developed nations.
The Allen School have a link school in Chongqing, a massive city that is supposedly full of pollution. However, our geography teacher visited the school and has agreed to give an interview about the actual situation. Livia Williams and Sophia Bartomeo found out more. And finally, China is planning to build the biggest waste-to-energy plant on the planet. The plant is to be built in the city of Shenzhen and expected to be up and running in 2020. Overflowing landfills are a big problem for China's largest cities, especially since many of these landfills don't follow environmental standards. One of these landfills actually killed dozens of people last year when it unexpectedly collapsed. These plants are seen as the solution to this problem. The plant is less about generating electricity and more about finding a solution to the existing waste problem. The incinerator is to be a mile in circumference and eliminate 5,000 tonnes of waste a day. A third of the waste is expected to turn into usable electricity. The plant itself is run by solar power. People involved insist the pollution generated will be less than what would come from overfilled landfill sites.
So, what does the future hold for China, and how will the government tackle these environmental threats and create a safe, sustainable environment for citizens to live in? Well, although China is the world's largest producer of carbon dioxide, it did see a decrease in the emissions of CO2 in 2014, though carbon emissions dropped by 2% compared to 2013. With the help of China's new policies, there will be no reason as to why this decrease in emissions will not continue to happen. These policies will claim to lower CO2 emissions faster without preventing economic growth. The policies include pricing the use of carbon dioxide emissions to lower the amount given off significantly. Also, Greenpeace is one of the leading campaigns to reduce the pollution in China. They plan to encourage the government to quit the use of coal and introduce effective instruments to reduce the number of vehicles on the road. This will allow China to cut out pollution rates, and this will provide a much more sustainable environment and will benefit the cancer villages by decreasing pollution in nearby factories. With the power plant seeking for a solution, in years to come, China should begin to see these environmental positives on a much larger scale.
I'm Becky Waite, this is Lauren Carrington, this is the BBC News School
Have a good
Report.
day.